welcome back to Biolog. Hope you're having a great day and a great week. Now, as you can see, my background has changed a little bit. I wanted to give my videos a different vibe. So if you guys do like this new change of setting, do let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you guys. Now today's video is going to be really interesting because I'm going to share my experience as an IGCSE student, and I'm going to rank each subject on a 1 to 8 tier scale based on my experience. So if you like the video, do like, share and subscribe to Biolog. And without further ado, let's get straight on to the video. Now, coming up at number 8, we have the IGCSE English language. So why I put English language at 8 was because firstly, somehow I just didn't enjoy the subject matter as much as I did for other subjects. I guess that was mainly because of how the exams were done, as well as the level of content they expected us to reach, as in the level of language they expected us to reach. I guess it was quite difficult to really understand what the examiner wants you to hit, that the level they want you to hit, because no matter how many sample responses I read, I really wasn't getting the essence of what they wanted me to kind of understand really and put on the paper. Because I did really enjoy the creative writing aspect of it, the narrative writing, the descriptive writing. I was a really avid learner as such when it came to the narrative writing, because I used to do a lot of practice when it comes to that, and I quite enjoyed narrative writing as such. But when it came to the exam, I guess marks really was one of the main issues as such, I would say. The marking criteria is very, very specific. There's a huge jump from probably a band 4 to a band 1. Obviously there is some difference, but even to jump from like a band 2 to a band 1, there is quite a bit that you need to do, and no one really tells you what exactly it is, like for other subjects. But I guess one of the main reasons I struggled with it was just not being able to understand the exam criteria and just not getting the marks I expected, I guess. Now coming up at number 7, we have business studies. So the funny thing is, I actually do get quite good scores in business studies, but I guess the subject as such is not something I find interesting, and the reason behind that is, the subject matter as such is really, really good. It's very in-depth. It gives you a very good understanding of, businesses that really work in the real life. So I commend people who are actually writing the content for IGCSE business, because it's really, practical as such. Because you're given examples of fictional businesses, and you're asked to evaluate, their circumstances, like what they could do. For example, if you talk about production, it could be things like job rotation, job enlargement, job enrichment, things of that nature. So it's really based on real world business examples. However, I think what pushed this subject down a little bit was the exam style. Because in IGCSE business, they ask you questions that really require a lot of analysis, and no one tells you how to do the questions. So no matter how good you are at the subject itself, how good you are at learning the information, if it comes to the point where you are unable to really write a coherent answer, and by the way, for business there is a specific way you need to write an answer as well. For each and every question there is a different, obviously apart from the different marks that are assigned to it, there's a different way you need to answer each and every question. So I think that can be a little bit daunting for people to kind of go through, and I think that was one of the only things that I didn't like about business, apart from the fact that obviously there is a lot of content you need to know. But with time, if you kind of do repetitive learning, it should be completely fine, and you really need to get used to the exam style. I think that's one of the main reasons that this came at number 7. So now at number 6 is the English literature coursework as such. As you can see, I'm really not very interested in English, but I'm trying to put my best effort into scoring it a good score as such, because English literature really is an interesting subject. I do like the fact that they give you these different novels. Like I personally had 1984, Crucible, as my novels, and a huge load of poems. When it came to the novels, I really liked the 1984 novel because it was a dystopian novel, and that really kind of got me thinking about what could possibly happen in future governments and things of that nature. I think what put this at 6 would be just Crucible. Somehow I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, especially compared to the 1984. But as coursework as such, I think English literature really is a good subject because there is just a lot of ideas that are put even in poems. Afternoon with Irish Cows, Coming, those kind of poems, they make you think about real life values, real life things that actually happen in your life. So it's not like you're just memorizing and you're just putting that out on the paper, because this really teaches you about certain core values, core emotions, and gets you thinking about it. So I think that's one of the reasons why I did not put this as low as I kind of thought I would. So yes, that is exactly why this is at 6. Now moving on to number 5, we have physics. Now physics was a very self-explanatory subject. It's so easy to understand, and I think the questions also are pretty well put out, especially in IGCSE physics. It really does not require too much of like thinking from outside, like I would say for things like language, English language. It's very straightforward, the questions. It's only according to what you have studied. There's nothing you need to know apart from the textbook, which I really love. It's very straightforward. It is very easy to understand the concepts as well. If you really kind of look at the textbook, look at your notes, I think it is a really good subject. The reason I would put this at 5 is just because in the textbook, again, I mean in classes also, I think that a little bit more engagement would be required. Especially in my class, we didn't do much of like active discussions, active talking. It was kind of just like worksheets and practice questions. But I think that really is the essence of physics. But I do think that a little bit more hands-on work and more practical work would be a lot more interesting, and would put this really at a much more higher level. I would really put this at like 3 or 4, but I guess I'm putting it at 5 because the classroom discussions were I guess just not as interesting as I expected it to be. Now this subject is pretty surprising. At number 4 we have biology. Now why biology is at number 4, and I'm sure you might be thinking I have a YouTube channel that really started out with biology concepts, but now I'm just not very inclined towards it as I used to be. But because I really used to love the subject a lot, I'm putting it at 4. And one of the main reasons why I'm putting it at 4 is because of the IGCSE exam style questions, how questions come and how they mark it. Specifically the mark scheme, I just think that it's very, very specific. So even points that are kind of correct are not really accepted. And in biology especially, they can ask you a lot of questions that are out of textbook. The textbook as well it's something that has a lot of information. Nothing is really concise. So you really have to put in a lot of effort to summarize the information in the textbook into separate pages with probably summary notes or things of that nature. I think that's one of the main reasons why this is at kind of a little bit more behind than other subjects. Another reason is the fact that the questions as such are very new. They are not something that you will learn. Especially in final exams, you will realize that a lot of questions require you to have additional knowledge from outside. Like there are a lot of different websites you need to go to and understand, like Save My Exams, and a few other kind of websites are there. I'll probably put it up over here for you guys to see. There are a lot of additional things you need to do to get a good score in biology, and no one tells you that at all. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm putting this at number 4. Alright, now we're getting into the interesting part. So at my top 3, number 3 is chemistry. Why I'm putting this at such a high level is because overall, subject-wise, content-wise, I think chemistry has a lot of scope. The textbook also is well put together as such when it comes to the information. Obviously, like biology, there is a lot of additional information as such. But with chemistry, I think there is also things like mathematical equations when it comes to chemistry. Like in stoichiometry, there is a lot of math that you need to do. I think I'm naturally more inclined towards that. So according to that, I do think that chemistry has a lot of scope. Also because my classes were so much fun. I think I have to give credit to my teacher for that, because a lot of my scores, good scores as such, are all because of also my effort, but also my teacher's effort, because they were just so nice. They were really fun and engaging. They always made sure that the classes were interesting, which is something I do think is very important. It's the essence of a good teacher, essentially. Like, it made chemistry so much more fun than I could expect. So I really want to say thank you to my chemistry teacher for that. And that is exactly why this is at 3. At number 2, we have Hindi. Alright, so why Hindi is actually such a high ranking subject for me is mainly because of my teacher. She really put in the effort to make sure that I improved my language, because I know a lot of people will disagree with this, but I really love Hindi as a subject because of the content as such. I think it's a lot of different topics that you need to go through, and the process really is about reading articles, listening to kind of voice talks and different information shows or things of that nature. I think it's a very out of classroom sort of subject where you can kind of be creative as well. I know a lot of people really hated Hindi in my batch, but apart from that, I think my teacher deserves a lot of credit for me getting probably the highest grade I've gotten in Hindi as such, which is a 95%. She really encouraged us to read more articles as such and do a lot of YouTube searches for different audios, and that's exactly how I improved on my listening skills. So I think Hindi overall, even in class, she would show us movies and different types of Hindi videos, and it was just a very fun and engaging classroom. Like, everyone really was actively participating in class, which I really loved about Hindi. So that is exactly why this is at number 2. If you've made it this far, seriously, thank you guys so much. It really means a lot. And at number 1, drum roll please, we have maths. Now, again, a pretty controversial subject to put at number 1, because I know there are a lot of people who just don't enjoy math as a subject as such. But a main contributor to why this is my favorite subject is because of my teacher again. She was just so fun. Like, she really kind of made the classes so unique, and I really wanted to come to class and learn. As cliche as it sounds, I kind of really was looking forward to upcoming lessons, and I remember I was always very competitive when it came to math. I owe a lot of my high grades to one of my friends as well, who would sit beside me in every math class. I was very competitive when it came to that, and it was really friendly competition that pushed me to get good grades. So I think math as a subject as well is quite interesting. I mean, initially the interesting part is that I really was bad at math. I remember in like 7th or 8th grade, I was just terrible at math. But after I got the right tutor, after I got the right guidance and practice, really guys, practice is key. After I did hundreds of past papers, I was really able to crack the exam style questions and what exactly they expect. I do also remember that I was pretty scared before the math exam for the type of questions that will come, because it was completely new questions that I had never done before, which was coming. I didn't even kind of think that this type of question would come. But I made it through with enough practice. So I think that really is why math is at such a high rank in my list. I really want to thank my friends and my teachers for supporting me through my IGCSE journey. And with that, I want to wrap up the video. If you like this video, do like, share and subscribe to Biolog. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.